You got your SuperTrickler, you got it hooked up. There's a lot going on with it. You want to know the best way to get started. Well, this is at least what I have found so far works the best. We're going to turn it on. It needs a warm-up, but once you get past the warm-up, you're going to be here. The first thing I do with both my machines, or have done with my machines, and you only have to do it the one time, is make sure you go to System, Peripherals, Powder Cup Monitoring, and make sure that your on-weight minimum is -0.01 and your max is 0. The reason that is because it will make sure that it only throws powder when an empty cup is detected. You can actually give it a wider range if a couple kernels here or there don't matter. For me, if I accidentally knock a kernel in before it zeroes out, I don't want that extra kernel to be added on top. So that's all you have to do there. So let's get past that. Now we're going to be back here at the start. We want to select. We're going to go to presets. We're going to create a new one. We're going to call it test. We'll just do that. Okay. And we're going to charge this, call this N555. Okay. And then we're going to select a powder. So we're going to go down to Vidavori, N555. And let's see here. So we got test. We got the powder. Heading. Okay. Charge name and oh, I forgot to save it. 0555. Okay. Oh, because there's already a charge name in there like that. So let's do N5552. Okay. So now it's saved it. We're going to close, and hit start. And now that brings up the main throwing screen. We can put in our charge weight, which is going to be 56.4. And then we're going to hit profile. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to let the self-learning do all the work here. And really, to optimize how the self-learning works, I want to restore this profile. Okay, so now it is back to the default powder profile for N555. And that turns self-learning back on here. If you tap on the self-learning button, we're going to hit OK. We have our powder charge of 56.4. Now we are going to put this in. Now what it's going to do is it goes through a whole stage of different learning. It wants to do the bulk. So it's going to kind of do, you're going to expect some overthrows because it's going to go for speed while it works on accuracy. Then once it gets a feeling for where the bulk needs to go, it's going to kick in the fine trickle, which is the faster version of the trickling. Then once it does that, it'll add the pulsing, which is like the fine trickling. So let's turn on auto so that it just keeps going, and let's get it started here. So this is all self-learning. And as expected, the bulk was pretty aggressive. There's a little animation. You can hear it. You'll get used to it. But the spinning means that the bulk throw is going. I'll show you here in a second. So that's spinning. So it's spinning. That means the bulk is going. Then when it vibrates, that's the fine. So you have bulk, then fine. And then if pulse is going, it'll flash. So you know exactly which one's working. So right now it's telling me that it's using 40%. So it's ramping it up to see where it needs to get to. 50%, 55. So now it sees powders dropping. It's going to keep going. So now it's getting a kind of a little saving spot. When the little graduation cap, that means it's learning. When it turns red, that's overriding, so it's automatically saving what's going on. So it saves it to the profile. So now it's on the fine trickle. And it'll do this a few times before it figures out where the fine trickle needs to stop, and then it'll start working on the pulse. Now there are screens for bulk, fine, pulse, all of that, where you can go in and manually adjust a bunch of settings, like There's probably 15 or 20 different settings that you can manually adjust. I would really recommend letting the self-learning do as much as it can, especially if you're new to the machine. And then, if you want to start playing with it and tweaking a few things here or there, that's fine. But believe it or not, this new AI that's in here is really, really efficient. All right, that was a 9-second throw. And what we're looking for is, it'll show you right here the time, and then how much bulk, how much fine, how much pulse was used. And optimally, you want it to go from bulk to fine to pulse. You really don't want a throw that's only bulk and fine, because that's going to be more erratic. You want it to be bulk, fine, and pulse. So it's constantly, while it's learning, it's going to be, kind of trying to balance those three out now. So now the fine's kicking in. It's getting right there. Okay. We had a little bit of pulse at the end. Ideally, that fine is going to kick off about 1/10 of a grain under your goal weight, and then it's going to let the pulse do the rest. So bulk is dropping just under 56. The fine is going to bring me up to like 56.3 something, and that's where it's trying to figure out right now. Because it could be trying things, like the way it all works, it could be vibrating harder for less time, it could be vibrating less for longer. Like, there's a lot of different ways that the motors can be manipulated. And so it's testing out all of the different methods to get to the desired throw weight in the most efficient manner. So right now it's leaning on the fine throw a little heavier again. But that's okay, it's going to get back there. Yeah, now we got there we go. So the fine was kicking off. Now the pulse is coming in. Yeah, now it's getting, like, it took a little longer, but now it sees the relationship, and it's going to be a little bit faster now. Yeah, that was really good. Now, let's say I saw that and I was like, wow, okay, 9 seconds. It had a nice, mix of everything. I'm going to turn the self-learning off, and I'm going to come back, and now I can see, without any of the settings changing this time from self-learning, is that a profile that I would want to stay on? And so now I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to see how it's working here. Okay, that was 7 seconds. There's the fine and pulse. Boom, 6.7 seconds. Nine seconds. Anyway, I'm liking this. And you could run this for a little while. Maybe you decide you want to let the self-learning see if it can tweak something. Maybe you want to go into the manual settings. I will do a whole nother video on the manual settings, but really I just wanted people to see, how easy, how fast it is to get up and running. Again, keep in mind that it automatically saved this, so I don't have to worry about these settings getting lost now. They are part of that profile. So now you can just start dropping powder, and I'm right there, 7, 8, 9 seconds. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to keep running with it. Again, I'll show you guys how, if you really want to try to eke out that nth degree, we can do it later. But the self-learning does an amazing job at this point. This is an updated AI system, and really, really surprised me. So anyway, you guys have a good one. We'll talk later. Thanks for watching.